Peter and I both know people over at Real Effects, and we asked one of our really good friends, Rod Douglas, who is a lead storyboard artist over there, if he could write us a short for Animation Lab. And so he came back and he's like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Loves writing stories. Any suggestions? And we just said, we want octopus ninjas. It is nice to have a story that's been written and revised by a storyboard artist, especially someone as talented with so many years' experience as Rod. He actually came in with our student storyboard artists and worked with them in pre-production to develop the actual boards and animatic of what he originally had for the idea of the short.
I'm Tran. I'm a senior in A-Tech, and I specialize in rigging. Think of like the puppet analogy. So you have a little puppet, and then you just add strings to the model, and then that's my job. So you add strings, you add controls, and then you see the animators. It adds a whole nother like dimension to your rig.
My name is Mira Dali. I am a junior at UT Dallas in the Arts, Technology, and Emerging Communications program with a concentration in animation, and I am the layout and animation supervisor for Octo Ninja. I oversee everything that moves, and that includes the camera, that includes props, anything that has to be keyframed, we touch. And so the actual acting, the performances of the characters, that is all our domain. We do what is essentially the first part of the storytelling. We have been given the challenge of creating something that no Anim Lab has done before, of animating floppy, jelly-like fish. And it is incredibly difficult, but also incredibly fun.
Hi, I'm Solveig. I'm a senior in A-Tech, and I am one of the technical director leads for Anim Lab. As technical directors, we kind of both take on a lot of the problems. Our main job is maintaining the pipeline, and as problems arise, we just kind of fight fires as they come up.
I always think of it like the code is secondary, or like all the files and all the technical bits are secondary. It's like whenever you talk to people and like you're like figuring out what's the problem, it's really more like a troubleshooting session, and you really got to figure out like or solve their problem and then get them back to work.
I'm Navya. I am the lighting lead for Octo Ninja. I'm a senior in A-Tech. So lighting in the pipeline is when you add lights into a scene. You light the characters, you light the environment, you light the animation, you light all of that, but like, what does that mean? This is gray. I don't know. Can we see this? Okay, so this is gray, right? But if I were to put like a pink light on it, it would show up kind of pink. So that also means that not only do we light things, we can actually tell the story, and we can determine like the mood and like the vibes of a story through lighting, which makes lighting really, really fun. I always like to say that lighting is painting with lights.
So this short was really unique in its lighting and the concept of having it only being in grayscale black and white. So I'm really excited because it's not something that we see a lot, especially on short films, student films. It's a struggle for lighting because they're lighting in just gray tones, which is not what they're used to. It's a struggle in surfacing because they're also doing the same thing where they're trying to get detail without getting too much detail or too grayscale tone washout. So I can't wait to see it on the film when it just has this like awesome film noir that you never see in a student film.
My name is Parker Ott. I'm a super senior transfer student into the UTD A-Tech program. On the Octo Ninja project, I'm a motion graphics animator, and in this case, the team lead for motion graphics. So what is motion graphics and how does it fit into the animation pipeline? That can really depend on the project. So traditionally, motion graphics kind of inherits this tradition sort of from like titling. You can think of some iconic things like Vertigo's intro, sort of like credit sequence, and some animated films these days really go ham on the end titling. That's often the purview of motion graphics. But motion graphics can also include more expressive animation integrated within the short. So it's, for us and the purposes of this short, it's basically anytime there's a 2D animated or 2D motivated animated effect on the screen. Motion graphics is handling that. So that's everything from the titling to little bits that accent the action throughout the short.
Hi, my name is Jai-Lin. I am a super senior and a project manager for Octo Ninja. I'm in charge of several departments such as TDs, marketing, lighting, and rigging.
Hi, my name is Jen Garcia. I'm a production manager for the sound department on Octo Ninja. I am currently a sophomore in ATech, focusing in animation and production. So as the production manager for sound, I'm in charge of creating their daily tasks, their weekly tasks, and overall creating like their master schedule to make sure we are on time and in sync with all of the changes throughout production.
My name is Justin Ju, and I am in sound department. I am the lead in the sound department, and I'm also sound designer. And I am a senior in ATech. Sound actually really important part from all the animation because it immerses all the audience to the film. So without the sound, you're just looking at the graphic images. So you absolutely need a great sound to produce a great animation. So I think it is really essential to the animatics.
Hi, I'm Ellen. I'm a senior at ATech and studying animation, and I am currently the editor for Octo Ninja. So editorial, I would like to think is divided up into like two stages, right? There's the animatic stage and then there's the post-production stage. The animatic stage is where I either create an animatic using storyboard frames and I update an existing animatic using the storyboard frames. And I add shots, I delete shots, I adjust the timing of the shots, and I will update the animatic as production goes on. And I'll get notes from them, implement feedback, and the cycle continues until I am ready for post-production. Now, this is more in line with, live action filmmaking because this is where I will take the more finalized shots from lighting, compositing, and whatever assets MoGraph needs to include and put them into a more finalized film timeline so the movie can be ready for publishing.
My name's Bailey Crider. I'm a senior here at UTD, and I'm focusing on basically being the producer for the overall project. But for specialty, it's mostly focusing on animation and editorial, and just making sure that all the little tiny fires that kind of spring up throughout the whole production get put out up until premiere date.
I am Payton Fults. I am a junior in ATech, specializing in pretty much creative management, which means my major's in Excel. And for Octo Ninja, I am a PM, and I am in charge of modeling, surfacing, and motion graphics / special effects.
It's very big scale, but we have to focus on the micro as well, right? Like making sure that all the little tiny details that the directors want to end up in the film, and it takes a lot of effort to make sure that every single tiny thing that is needed in the film gets in there. So it's a big task in a project management sense to make sure that all of that happens. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that kind of get thrown your way that you don't really expect, and it's figuring out how to manage yourself in a way where you don't get overwhelmed in the process of making sure that everything is being taken care of. And that's a really difficult job.
You actually get to use the skills, It's like, instead of like theoretical schedules in Shotgun, it's like an actual schedule in Shotgun. And, there's nothing that will prepare you for the actual like working of artists and like the actual like things get delayed, life happens.
Yeah.
Like nothing will prepare you for that unless you are doing it.
Yeah. We were still in the tail end of being 100% online during COVID, so making sure that everybody was okay in terms of production from the standpoint of never seeing each other in person, kind of like in the way that we have been able to this past semester, has just been completely different. But it's a lot of work.
Getting everything off remote and like being in person again was definitely different because the class, it runs differently now. We do everything in person. I would actually say class times are more productive, which is always really good. It's a little bit more hectic, but I miss seeing everyone in person, so it's really, really nice.
One of the things I'm most excited to see about Octo Ninja is I really want to see how the film noir style translates to the screen. I've seen a lot of really cool working parts of it, and I'm excited to just see the final product.
What I am most excited for, truly witnessing the animation pipeline truly just come together towards the end and see how everything plays out and see how our hard work just formulate into this beautiful little action-packed James Bond-inspired, SpongeBob-inspired little short film that we're making.
As animators, we don't see the final surfaced and lit shots. We only see what we see in animation, which is just gray textures, very minimal shading. But I've seen the work that surfacing has done. I've seen the work that lighting has done. I've seen the work that MoGraph has done. And when I finally get to see it all together, I think I'm just gonna like cheer and burst into tears because, you know, it's the work that we've all put in.
I love a good goofy short, you know what I mean? Like, comedy has always been kind of up there with the type of productions I want to work on. So it was kind of cool to work on this project in that sense. The reactions of the jokes that we have been seeing for over a year now, and it's going to be extremely fresh to the people who haven't seen it. So their reactions is I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be watching it with like new eyes. Like you're gonna be watching people versus the film. Be like, you know, because you're like, how are they seeing this?
Because we'll be waiting for it too, right? We'll be like, are they gonna laugh at that? Are they gonna laugh at that? And then they laugh at it, and it's okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess I'm just
It works.
excited to like see things in motion because like my
Yeah.
main departments are, you know, just the models. So I haven't really like seen the film together. I've seen like, oh, here's the model and like T-posing. Oh,
Yeah.
here's like some textures. I haven't like, or like here's some sparkles. Like it's gonna be crazy to see this actually like, whoa, this is like a moving texture. Like yeah, so I think that's what I'm most excited for personally.
Well, I think that wraps it up. Is there anything you would like to add? Want to tell people? Or are we good?
Stay cool.
Stay cool.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. Don't drop out.
Thank you, guys.